Okay guys, welcome to day 2, this short mini series. And as I said, tonight we're going to be concentrating on the hips and working into all this musculature and this rotational tissue of the hips to try and loosen it up and over time help alleviate things like lower back pain that can be a big contributor from poor hips or a big symptom of poor hips, even knees, other joints that can be involved if your hips don't move well and aren't strong and mobile. So let's get started working on these hips with two simple exercises. The first we're going to use is swivel hips. So to set up, I want your feet roughly wider than shoulder width apart, hands behind you, chest proud, and I also want you to think about sitting on your sits bones. So pull your cheeks out the way and sit on those bony prominences in your glutes. Nice and tall. I also like to bring my toes back towards my shins and keep tension there. I'd much rather that than be all floppy in the system. Let's get a bit of tension there, and that can help relax the hips that we're working. And I've just noticed I've got a hole in my trousers. Don't zoom in. I think we're all good though. So yeah, I'm not getting changed now. We're into this now, guys, so we're carrying on regardless. So from this setup position, 2 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes minimum, breathe in. So nice inhales through the nose for about 3 seconds, exhale through the mouth for about 6 to 7 seconds as we do this. And all we're going to do from this tall position, hands behind us, is just going to slowly drop our knees to one side and then to the other side. Now, 2 things. Don't fake the movement and lift the bum off the floor. The bum, both cheeks want to stay fully engaged with the floor at all times. So we don't fake it by lifting off the floor. So even if your range is just here for now, that's perfectly okay. Just move through your safest, greatest range of motion, wherever that is. The other thing is, try to imagine there's a distance that is set between the 2 knees and that never changes. So I imagine there's a stick in between my 2 knees and that distance never decreases or increases. So what I mean by that, we don't want to drop that knee and then follow along, or we don't want to drop that knee first and then move that one. Try and keep that distance the same throughout the whole exercise. If you want more of a challenge, you can do it unsupported. Obviously a little bit more difficult, but try initially just to feel the swivel in the hips. So try and feel all this tissue on the outside of the hips, just working as we swivel for 2 to 3 minutes. Then we're keeping that tension, pulling our toes back towards our shins, breathe in, and keeping the bum on the floor at all times. Perform this for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll go into a rotational exercise for the hips, where we bring our hip through its full range of motion. Most people, they walk, they run, they sit at a desk, on their couches, and their hips are only going into a certain degree of motion, flexing and extending, which is very limited. So what we want to do is try to reintroduce its full range of motion. So we can start by introducing something called a CAR, or a controlled articular rotation, which takes our joints through their full range of motion. And remember, don't fake this range of motion, just move through your current pain-free range of motion, whatever that is. So let's grab a pillow, or I like to use a block just under my head, just to support it. I do find that these are easiest performed side lying, like I'm doing here. I do them stood up, but I do believe when you're learning, it's better to lie on the side so you can take everything out of the equation and just concentrate on the hip. Now, when you're just lying here, relaxing, you'll notice that your obliques, your ribs will be in contact with the floor, which is creating a bit of a curve in the spine. Eradicate that by pulling that away. So we've got a bit of a gap here, or we've got tension here initially, or certainly, and we're not just flopping the spine down towards the floor. Let's try and keep the spine nice and straight. Arms in front, or wherever's comfortable. I like to have them in front. And we start with this 90-degree position. So we're 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees, 90 degrees at the ankles. Now what you'll do from here is you'll lift your knee towards your chest. And you can break this down. We can just do that initially. So bring it right up to your chest, squeeze, and back down. We can then add the second part, which is opening the gate. So we can squeeze and then open the gate. Now when you open the gate, don't roll the pelvis. Keep everything the same, no compensation anywhere else. So we pull in, we open the gate, and we return, just to break this move down. The next one is we pull in, we open the gate, and then we try and keep the foot higher than the knee, and then try and get the hip right, a big circle towards the back, as we then pull it back through to halfway. So then we go into extension, so we extend the hip as far back as we can, and then the first thing we do is lift the foot, the knee stays low, and then we create that big circle, try and draw a big circle with the foot, keeping that 90-degree angle in the knee. Big circle, don't rotate the pelvis. Bring it back to the chest, and then back to the start. They are quite awkward certainly when I was learning these, I found they were quite awkward. So just persevere, just try and listen to the cues, and try and imagine it's important that we keep the 90-degree in the knee, and the 90-degree in the ankle, and the 90-degree in this hip area as well. It really helps isolate the hip and rotate it in the ball and socket joint of the hip. So we try to keep the foot nice and high. So we come back, we lift the foot first, keep the foot high, feel that tissue in the outside of the hip fire up, keep the tension there, keep that bend in the leg, bring back through to the chest, and then drop. Now perform maybe 3 to 5 reps of these, and always as slow as you can. We don't want to be just doing all this business. Nice and slow, as if you're moving through thick honey or treacle. Imagine that. So we lift the foot, we rotate, we rotate, we rotate. We come back. And then we go back into extension. Lift the foot. Big circle, big circle. And back. Okay, let's do one last one together. And try and keep all these cues in your head as to what you're doing. So 90 degrees in the 3 points. First thing, bring the knee to the chest without moving anything. Knee to chest. Then we open the gate. So we're opening the hips. Then we keep that foot where it is, and now start to rotate the knee back, keeping that foot high. If we drop the foot, you'll notice everything disengages in the hip. You must keep that rotation. Just try that yourself. Just lower your foot, lift it, and feel everything fire up on the outside of the hip. That's the tension you need to keep. So you're keeping that foot high, rotate to the back, and then pull through to rest. And then keeping that angle in the shin and the knee, we go backwards. Then we lift the foot to create that tension in the hip. Then draw that big circle, big circle with the foot back into the chest, and then back to the start. All the while maintaining that tension in the oblique to keep the spine straight. A little bit of tension through the rest of the body, trying to relax this area as we rotate it. So yeah, 2 basically simple exercises. They are, the more you get used to those cars, the simpler they'll become, and you'll start to realize what the intent is, to move your hip through its full range of motion. So persevere with them. As I say, any questions, let me know. If you need any guidance on them, just let me know and I'll be sure to help you as much as I can. And I'll see you on the next one.